I decided to make this clip because I'm certain some of you would be quite fascinated by some of the entities, if you want to call them that I might have met. Uh, yes, I have met entities, though they, they are spirits either or largely of the demonic world. So if you want to ask if through my experiences I've met God, Satan and others, well, yes. Actually, with God, I first came across him just after I left Satanism, and I was starting to look at the Kabbalah and starting to muck around with it because I didn't really have anything to lose. So I was doing things haphazardly, and it's like it was a situation where I wasn't asleep and I wasn't awake. I was just somewhere in between, and I was more or less what they call astral travelling. I was basically sucked up into the sky, and I didn't know what was happening, and I could see myself just being sucked up in the sky. All the stars are passing me, or I was passing them, and I could see the side of a human face, like a sideways profile. And I remember reading in a book about the Kabbalah that is the representation of God in Keter, or his name is Eheya, Asher Eheya, or I am that I am, or transliterated, I am what I will be. And I panicked, because I thought, if I see God's face, in its entirety, I'm going to die. So I was kicking, screaming, and I ended up, it's like a thump on the bed. I could feel, it felt like I had just fallen onto a bed. And the thing that I noticed first off is like my skin was ice cold, the wind chill factor, and I don't know, just put it down to an experience. But I was in a bad place then. Left Satanism, hadn't really, or was nowhere near attaining to God for what I had done. So I was just in an atheistic type sense. Not that I didn't believe that Satan and God didn't exist, I just could not put myself in either, because with Satan I had abandoned him for the second time, and with God I hadn't attained. I felt ashamed. That's what it was. I felt ashamed that I did not know if I could be forgiven. So that was my first encounter with God. The second one was when I was into the Kabbalah, and I felt that I had to some extent been forgiven by God, but I wasn't entirely sure. And I was using the Kabbalah, and I was praying to God, and I asked him, is it permissible to kill people? And I really wanted an answer to this, because I'm not too sure. People say, oh, you shouldn't kill no matter what. Yeah, if someone's trying to kill you, yeah, let them kill you. Well, no. So it took about a week of praying, And then I went into what's called path working. That's what it's commonly called. It's something I wanted to do, but I didn't design to do it. It's just something that happened, and I ended up in Hokmah. When you end up in a sephira, what you notice is that with the colour that pertains to that particular sephira in that particular world, everything's monochrome. And so I was in Hokmah and everything was grey, shades of grey. And I was more or less bowing down because there was like a person, what you call God. Now I saw his feet, I saw his hands, but I didn't see his face. I thought, no, I'm not going to look at his face because I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. And the God aspect in Hokmah is called Jah. Like Rastafari say, Jah man. Or some people just say Jehovah. And he said, what would you like to know? I said, I'd like to know if it's okay to kill people. I'm not too sure because people say, oh, you shouldn't kill no matter what. And you shouldn't let people kill you. I said, that doesn't make sense to me. And where I was, because I was on my knees, and it was like a coffee table type setup. And he dealt out 3 cards, like a 3-card Monty. And the thing was, I don't know how to describe these cards. He picked up one card and he said, what colour is this? And it was white, it was black, it was neither, but yet it was both. And what you got to understand is when you go into the sephira, so with grey in Hokmah, I was in Bria. The laws of physics do not apply, so it is possible to see 2 colours simultaneously. And he said, what colour is this? I said, well, it's black, it's white, it's neither, yet it's both. And he said, to sum it up, that it depends on the motivation why you do this. And I thought, well, yeah, that's fair enough. And what happened afterwards? He ended the conversation and shunted me to one of the paths, because the paths of wisdom that connect all the sephira. And you end up in the pathway, you just keep walking, then you come back into this world. But when you look at killing and murder, they are 2 different things. The commandment is, thou shalt not murder. And a lot of people make the mistake of saying, oh, thou shalt not kill. I said, no, because what makes killing murder is the motivation behind it. If you kill someone for personal gain, that is murder. If you kill someone while defending yourself, well, that's just killing. So, well, that situation was that, and so that ended. There was one other time where God spoke to me, but he didn't appear. I was fully awake. And he was telling me, because I don't know, I just had this mission given to me. It's to do with Lilith, and I was told, you should help Lilith to regain my favour so she can go back to heaven. I asked, what am I supposed to do? So you bring symbols for that, and you spread the news of using her symbols. And I have chosen Our Lady of Cheche as a symbol for Lilith, and you can get people to pray for Lilith. And I said, look, I'm not a Catholic, I don't understand any of that, so I can't take this job. And he started laughing at me. He said, Moses didn't want his job either. I said, I'm not a prophet, why don't you get a Catholic to do this, because they're more fanatical in regards to what you call Our Lady, especially Our Lady of Fatima and so on. Our Lady of Cheche would have plenty of followers. And he said to me, I don't want fanatics. I want someone who can do the job, and I think you can do it. So I thought, I must be going mad. Anyway, I decided to go for a walk, and I walked along the river, and there's like a sandbank there. And I just decided to walk on a sandbank. It was at night time. And I was just walking, not looking for anything in particular, and there's like a little rock. It's like a ledge, or just like coming up from the sand, and it goes against the riverbank. So I was just walking, just looking along there, and there's these candles burning there. And that didn't make sense to me. So why would anyone light candles and put them in a place where no one can see them? I didn't know what to make of it. Here I am trying to find out about this sort of whatever I've been told, and I've come across this, and no one else has seen it because they wouldn't have seen it with the location it was in at this particular time, because it's about, 10 o'clock at night. So I don't know, I just accepted it, and I thought, how the hell am I going to get this done? But I think God plans all these things in advance, and it's a job I've pretty much accepted, and yeah, so that's something I have to take care of. And leave this and continue on another clip.